Hello and welcome to the Spirit Spa, an online sanctuary dedicated to supporting you if you're in the early stages of recovery from a nervous breakdown. My name is Karen Packwood. I'm an author and spiritual guide and founder of the Natural Way Healing Processes. In my message from the wilderness today, I'm going to be talking about how to prepare yourself for bedtime so that as you go to sleep in the evening, you're in a peaceful, calm and relaxed state. This video follows on from my video where I talk about how to cope with the anxiety, fear and dread that we often feel when we wake up in the mornings. So you might like to have a listen and a watch of that video first. But the evenings are a time where we really need to think about really caring for ourselves as we prepare to go to bed. As you can see, I'm out in the forest this evening, but you might not be at the stage where you're actually able to leave your home, either because you're still physically exhausted or because you are socially anxious at the moment. So it might be that you're still very much home-based indoors, and it might be that you're still in bed quite a lot of the time resting. And even if that's the case, it's still quite important that you see the difference between your daytime kind of experiences and your evening preparations for bedtime. So I'm going to talk first about how to look after yourself if you're home-based, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do if you're past that stage and you're actually able to actually go outside and spend some time in nature, or in an environment locally to you that feels well and happy and safe and secure for you. So in the early stages, when you're at home and you're very exhausted, you're very low, you're feeling very anxious and very frightened that you're never ever going to feel well again. This can often play on our minds at nights, and particularly in the middle of the night. It's not at all uncommon to think that you're going to go to sleep and have a really nice long sleep because you're actually so exhausted, but then to actually find that you can't relax properly and you can't go to sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night sort of tossing and turning and feeling anxious. So evening rituals of self-care, very conscious, are extremely important. I suggest that you have a very good routine, that you know exactly what time you're going to go to bed in the evenings, that it's not too late, that you're not kind of staying up past midnight, or getting a really good sort of a good bedtime in place. You'll know what sort of feels right for you. It might be that you actually can't stay up past 7 o'clock. I know in my early days I was just sleeping so much that the idea of even staying up till 10 o'clock at night was beyond my capabilities. So really have a sort of a clear routine about what time your bedtime is. And then about an hour and a half before that time, begin to prepare yourself. And there's a variety of things that you can do. Personally, I don't recommend spending a lot of time on the internet. I don't recommend spending a lot of time on your computer or your phone. Perhaps maybe a little bit of TV, but I even recommend that you actually don't spend an awful lot of time on watching TV. That hour and a half before bedtime is your time. It's time for you to really fully connect with you and your self-care. So what are some of the things that I would suggest that you do? Well, I would suggest that you have a really lovely warm bath, not too hot, because a really hot bath can actually exhaust you even more, whereas a warm bath is kind of a little bit more relaxing. I also recommend that you have a journal and that you spend some time just writing down your thoughts and feelings about how you feel about going to sleep. Do you feel anxious? Are you longing for it? Are you looking forward to the moment when you're about to actually be able to kind of like go and snuggle up for the night and get a bit of respite from the anxiety of the day? So this is a really good way, journaling is a really good way of getting the anxieties that are going on inside you out of you and down onto paper. And just that act of actually kind of writing them down and getting them down onto paper kind of releases them a little bit for you. And often what happens is that sometimes guidance can start to come forward for you from your inner healer as you begin to write those thoughts down as well. So it's quite an interesting exercise to actually see what happens for you as you journal into those thoughts. Another thing that's really lovely to do is to just spend a few moments in peace and silence. Now, some people might call this meditation. I don't call it meditation because, people can get a little bit hung up on, well, I don't know how to meditate. Am I doing it properly? What do I do? How do I meditate? I like to just kind of think about it as just coming to a place where you're sitting very peacefully in silence, perhaps with your eyes closed, or perhaps just looking at a beautiful view, and you're just concentrating on your breath. You're just noticing your breath coming into your body and your breath coming out of your body. And you might even want to just say the words to yourself, either quietly or out loud. I feel peaceful and calm. I feel serene and tranquil. I am ready to go into a peaceful sleep. And you can just think of lovely, soothing phrases that you can just say to yourself, that as you breathe them in, obviously you're kind of saying, you're giving them to your subconscious, and of course you're breathing them into your body as well. So you're just breathing in these beautiful, peaceful, calm words that just slow you down and bring you into a lovely sense of peace and calm and tranquility and serenity. And even just saying those words, if you just notice how you feel when you actually just start to say those words, particularly if you say them out loud, you'll notice that your breath does calm down. Your body does begin to feel a little bit more relaxed. It's amazing what happens when we actually just begin to use these words to give us some kind of support as we go into a good night of sleep. When you actually feel a little bit stronger and you are able to actually go outside and you do have the physical energy to do that, there's nothing to stop you actually coming for a nice walk. It took me a long time before I was able to do this, but then once I was able to do it, it actually became a regular feature for me, both in the morning and in the evening. That before I went to bed at night, I would come for a walk, and it would often be just as the sun was setting. And actually, sometimes it would be, in the winter, it would be in pitch black nights when the moon was out and the stars were shining. And obviously, if you're going to do something like that, make sure that you're going somewhere where you're going to be safe. But there's something about being in nature at the end of the day when everything is just quietening down, and it's funny that, when you're outside, even though the world feels like it's quietening down, you'll still hear lots of wildlife. And in fact, you can hear the wildlife more in the evening than you can during the day sometimes. And it's just so important to just remind you that even though you're feeling, very, very kind of destroyed on the inside, you are still surrounded by a world that is full of incredible beauty. And the more that you can remind yourself of this in your healing journey, I think it really aids your recovery. And of course, what's really wonderful about walking is that it's very calming. Obviously it's well known that it's a very, very good antidote to depression. There's something about looking at the magnificent trees and seeing how amazing they are, and thinking to yourself, well, if these ancient trees can withstand storms and thunder and lightning, then I'm pretty certain that I should be able to withstand, the horror that I find myself in as well. So there's something about coming out just before bedtime and getting the kind of like the supports from nature to help you feel serene, to help you feel supported, to remind you that the world is kind of bigger than just what's going on inside you. And I know that for me, that's been a very healing process. And there's all sorts of other really incredible things that have happened for me as a part of the regular walks, what I call soul walks. But I'll share about that in another video, because that's not related so much to the actual preparing yourself for bed in the evening. And then once you actually come home and you get yourself ready for bed, make sure that you're doing the basic self-care. It's very easy when we're feeling very kind of bad about ourselves, or frightened, or in difficult places, or just completely exhausted. It's hard for us to sometimes summon up the energy to clean our teeth and brush our hair and make ourselves feel nice as we're actually going to bed. So really make sure that you are looking after yourself in terms of those basic self-care requirements as well. And then when you go to bed, you might want to just spend a little bit more time writing in your journal about how you feel as you go to bed and just releasing that into your journal. You might spend a little bit of time just reminding yourself of what kind of sleep you would like for yourself, what you would like to wish for yourself. And then as you snuggle down, there's a lovely thing that I use with my clients that many of my clients find very helpful, because it's a frightening time sometimes when we go to sleep at night, when we're in the middle of a nervous breakdown. You know, it's often the time where we feel most frightened and most alone. So one of the things that I encourage my clients to do is to imagine that they're going to sleep with angel wings wrapped around them. So it's as if a beautiful angel has come in with their stunning wings and their soft, tender, lovely, caring wings, and just protecting you and allowing you to nestle down into the angel wings. And it doesn't matter whether you believe in angels or not, just the the idea that you can invite a beautiful angel wings in to keep you feeling safe and protected and kind of rocking you off into a soothing sleep can help you at those moments when you feel very alone, very frightened, because that's when we really come into connection with our inner fear quite often, isn't it? And you can just give it to the angel, just talk to the angel. It's almost as if you kind of, give your fears to the angel, give your worries to the angel, and give your desire for a nice night's sleep to the angel. And then just allow yourself to drift off into a beautiful, lovely sleep. And the other thing that you can do is also have some lavender by your bed. Lavender is so peaceful and calming, and you might want to just put a little sprig under your pillow or a little pot by your bed as well. So these are just some of the things that you can do to help yourself go into a peaceful night's sleep. There are many more strategies, and if you have any strategies that you use yourself, please share them in the comments below so that everybody can get the benefit of them. That would be really wonderful. As you can see, the sun has lowered as I'm doing this, so that the lighting's changed a little bit, so I apologise for that. But thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope that's really helped. My name is Karen Packwood. If you would like to email me with any questions, please do so at karenpackwood@gmail.com. Please like the video if you like it, and of course please subscribe to my channel if you would like to. I'm wishing you much love and sending you lots of peace for your night's sleep.